everybody. Welcome to the English Staff Room. My name is Magda and my guest today is Maria. And I'm very, very, very delighted to welcome you to the English Staff Room. You are our, first online interviewee who reached
I'm so happy to be here. It's great. It's great to get talking to you. Yeah, the whole way from Ireland.
Yay, amazing. Okay, Maria, so 3 warm-up questions. So how long have you been an English language teacher and where?
Well, right now I'm teaching in Limerick, which is in Ireland. So I've been teaching in the school for 2 years. Prior to that, I started teaching in Argentina. So I was doing my university degree. We got the chance to teach abroad. Didn't have experienced the time. We did like a week of intensive teaching and I went way off, done the different levels. And once I done that, I fell in love with it. I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. So did it in Argentina. And prior to that again, I was doing au pairing in Spain. So I was like, okay, I have to find creative ways to teach children. So I really grew in love, I fell in love with it. I really, really did. And yeah, right now I'm teaching English to adults from people all around the world. And it's absolutely amazing. So I'd say probably 3 years roughly. Yeah.
All
In
right.
different places. Yeah.
Okay. So have you taught in 3 different countries so far, right?
Well, yeah, I did the au pair in Spain. I did teaching in Buenos Aires and Puerto Moreno in Argentina, which was incredible. It was all different levels. My first actual experience was in, the south of Argentina. So I was put in the classroom. I was told, you're teaching this. I got to go. Best of luck. And I was like, oh no, I have 2 options. I either turn around here and cry or I just get on with it. And I got on with it and I got through that. So I'm still here and it's great. It was the best way, thrown into the deep end, 100%.
Wow, that's amazing. And do you have like a favorite level that you like to teach?
I like the higher levels. I really do. Right now I'm teaching proficient level C2 and I absolutely love it because you can really have conversations with them. Now, I love the excitement of the lower levels, don't get me wrong. I love when you tell them, oh, this is a wall, this is a door, and they're so excited and they're so enthusiastic. I love intermediate because they're kind of in the stuck phase. They're like, okay, I want to get more complex sentences, but I'm kind of able to put sentences across and be understood. So I love to motivate them up. But right now, I do love the level I have because we have such even deep conversations about things. It's amazing. I really, really love it. The higher levels.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
And I always ask all the teachers I'm interviewing about their favorite activities because I want us to share and maybe try different. So what is yours?
Okay, mine might be a little bit different. I love doing script writing. So I know. But I think because I learned languages myself and I was so shy when I was learning languages. So I was one of the shy students in the classroom. I couldn't speak up. So I tried to look at the shy students that I'd have in the classroom, like, okay, what can I do about this? How can I get them out of their comfort zone? And by script writing, you're becoming a new person, you have a new identity. So nearly they're stepping out of their shy zone and they're getting a bit more confident because they're becoming this other character. So what I did was I printed out 3 scripts from Friends, the TV show, because who doesn't love Friends? And I got them to become a character and just act it out. Afterwards, I got them to write their own, but it was about cultural stereotypes. So I was like, okay, what do you feel like people don't know about your country? And I got them to write down different things. For example, we had people from Turkey. They're saying, okay, we don't ride camels every day. So they put that in and made humor about it. Irish, they don't drink all the time. So they made something funny along the lines of that. And oh my God, the Shire people were so confident. It was amazing. It really worked, really worked.
You just blew my mind. Oh my God.
It's a great activity to do. It really, really is. It was so entertaining. Like I was so proud of them. It was great. It was great.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah,
that.
no, not at all.
Class. I can't wait.
Try it out.
I thought about it, but that sounds like an amazing way to motivate those shyer students and to including them in a class.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it really is. And no, you'll be so blown away by how different they become in that moment and more confident they are, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I think that links very well to the topic that we want to discuss today, which is cultural awareness.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So what would you say cultural awareness is, and basically why do we need to include it in our lessons?
it's just being sensitive to where everybody is from. Yeah, they might be, for example, where I'm from in Ireland, they're coming to my country and yeah, they're coming to learn about my language, my culture, but again, they're coming and it's so different to them. So if we're more aware of their beliefs and values and attitudes towards things, we can even help them as well to learn the language a little bit quicker too, even the language differences and everything. For example, I have a student from Iran and she said in her culture she's told to listen and be a bit more quiet. So it's good to know that in the classroom so that I can like, okay, well here if you want to, you can speak up more, or I will elicit you more in the classroom so then you can, instead of listen, participate. And it really works. It's just good to know, yeah, they're a different background. Be aware, as it says, of self-cultural awareness.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So from it also blew my mind when I started teaching in the UK for the first time.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I taught in Poland and in Venezuela, and I only had
Amazing.
monolingual classes, so it was a little bit different.
Yeah.
When I had this mixture of different people in one class,
Yeah.
that was so weird. And the experience I wanted to share with you was when I had students from so many different countries. I don't want to tell what countries they were because
Yeah.
maybe someone will feel a little bit upset about that. But there was a student from a certain country that never used any polite language, like "thank you, please, could you," or he always said what, and in a very
Yeah.
kind of even aggressive way, you know.
Yeah.
All the students were just shocked, and most of them came to me after class saying, "Listen, this student is very impolite, and we don't want that. We want him to be polite." And it got me thinking, you know, that how important this like it is to
Yeah.
teach culture. So basically, I had to review all the polite language and explain that, you know, this is so important for everyone, and we should, you know.
That's so true. Yeah. That's so true. Because even I've had a similar lesson like that. I was like, okay, in Ireland, we will say sorry for everything, even if you're not wrong. So if you're walking down the street, somebody hits into your shoulder, we'll say, oh, sorry, 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 or sorry to ask a question. And we won't like whistle in a restaurant or put our hand up. We'll just like, oh, sorry, sorry. So even for them to be aware that that's how we act here and that's how it works for us, they'll get along better in the separate culture as well. Yeah, politeness is a huge one, huge one. It's so interesting. So interesting.
Great.
Yeah.
Can you think of some problems that we might have in teaching culture?
Yeah, well, suppose like the taboo topics, like some topics some students might not want to talk about. So you have to be quite open and like ask them, what are you comfortable learning about? What are you not comfortable learning about? And for example, like swearing mightn't be a big thing in a culture, so we can't use swear words, but some students might want that. So if you want to cater for both, you say, okay, here's a handout. If you have questions, ask me outside of the classroom. So you're just keeping it separate as well, but pleasing everybody at the same time what they want to learn. So just be careful, just the different topics that they might not want to talk about that are sensitive to them. Yeah.
I think I made a huge mistake one day. I had a class called Debate the Issues, and one of the things the students wanted to talk about was abortion. And my school works on a continuous enrollment basis, so there are always new on a Monday, and you know, and there was a student who didn't feel very comfortable with this topic who came on a Monday when I did that lesson, and she was so upset and came to me and said, "Please, teacher, can we not discuss these kind of very difficult topics?" So another lesson learned for me.
It happens though, it really does happen, because when we go into the industry we're told, okay, don't talk about death, don't talk about marriage or politics, but you might find you're in a lesson and they're like, they want to bring it up and everybody seems to be engaging about that topic. We can always pause and say like, okay, is anyone uncomfortable right now? We can move on. If they're not, like, no, we like talking about this, it's like, okay, and then you're maybe able to bring it the topic in. It's tough, it is tough, you don't know who wants to talk about what, you know.
It's so difficult, but so necessary.
It is, of course it is. Yeah.
So what would you say, do you have like any activities that you could recommend to teachers who's never taught in you know, cultural class, so many people from so many different cultures?
So as I said, that script writing, like bringing in the culture that way, is an amazing way to do it. Like, because they're actually bringing in things people might not know about their culture, but also laughing at the stereotypes people might have of their culture. So that's fun. Presentations, doing presentations are just incredible. I actually had a student not too long ago. She brought in food from her country. We all tried it. We've never tried it before. And she done a presentation as well about her culture. We learned so much. We actually learned that there were similarities in her language and also the Irish language. So it was just fascinating. It really was. And for every single culture, you can do that. You could say for 1 week we'll do your culture, the next week we'll do your culture, and it's just fun that way. Yeah, that would be a big one. My favorite game though would be 30 Seconds. Have you ever heard of it before?
Oh no, what is that?
I think it's an Irish board game, but it's also like Taboo. So you actually have the board itself. You can play it with the cards too. So you have about 5 different things on it. So it could be different places in Ireland, and it brings in culture too. So for example, Dublin or the Spire in Dublin, the monument we have there. So it could be on it. You have to describe this without actually saying the word. You have 30 seconds timer, and they love competition. If you bring competition in, they love it. They absolutely love it. They become alive. They just get so competitive, and I do too. So as a teacher, you have to join in as well to make it fun too, of course.
Wow,
But yeah,
that's amazing. That's another one I'm gonna try in my class.
yeah. Do you have any favorite activity that you throw in?
I think presentations always work really
Yeah,
well.
they're great. Yeah,
Because I think what students really love and they really like to do in the class is to share as well something
yeah.
about themselves.
Of
And
course, yeah,
it's just so much they learn about other countries and each other. And
yeah.
I think presentation will be also my go-to activity to make it a bit.
Definitely, because I find even with share students too, like they just really come out of themselves. If you say you can bring back every theme of a lesson to and what's it like in your country and what's it like in your culture, and it comes to the point in a lesson where they're like, oh, in my country, they're all speaking up about it, which is just the best phase you need to be at, like the best part of the lesson. It's great. Yeah.
Another thing that comes to my mind is like, because actually now in the UK, we are actually encouraged, or even it's necessary to include British culture into the curriculum.
Oh, great.
So this is what I'm gonna do on Friday. Basically, I'm gonna do a jigsaw reading. So every student will get like a different textbook, British culture, and they will have to stand up, interview each other, and there is like a section in the table. What should I know about this certain topic? So there are like
like that.
tea, weather, and so on. So
yeah,
they will select the most important information from the text and just, talk to each other. At the end, I'm gonna put all the topics on the board and put them in groups and see, is this also polite in your culture, or is it different? So they actually
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I'm going to take that too. It's just like comparing that to cultures as well. I love that. Yeah.
I think I'll tell you how it works, because I've planned that for Friday, because they're quite keen on.
No, that's great. That's amazing. You have to include it, because like I find there's very little Irish English material out there. So I really try to put it into the classroom too, because they love using it. And to be honest, Irish people, we don't really open our mouths when we talk unless you're a teacher and you have to. And if you go out in the street, we're mumbling. So even to teach them that, and they can recognize it, or they come back, and it's so exciting if you teach them something like slang and they use it outside. They come in, they're like, oh, I heard this that you told me, and it's great. Like, you become so proud. You're like, oh, look at that. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I think there's only one thing I'm really curious to hear about, is like how we can make our classroom a bit more inclusive, so everyone feels, included in discussions and everything. Do you have any ideas about that?
I think the best thing to do at times is to go back to when you were taught and what you liked and what you didn't like. Now, obviously, you have to include what you didn't like and what you liked. But for example, if we want to include everyone, even the shy students, we have to really read the room and read the body language. So for example, when I was learning languages, I remember one lecture in particular, I'd have everything done, but I'd have the head down. I'd be like, okay, say it now. But I just couldn't. But she could always tell, she's like, Maria, do you know? And then I'd speak, because I just couldn't speak out. So just read, if you see a student, the lips are about to go, and then they go back. It's like, oh, what do you think? And call their name out. And then you're including them, because we always have the chatter boxes in the background, which is great. But we always say, and what do you think? Now, if you know they're kind of shy and they don't want to speak up at all, you can always just say, oh, do you want to say anything about the topic or what we've just said up to now? And then it gives them a chance to think back. Maybe they formed a sentence 10 minutes ago and then it only came to them now. And it's like, well, anything you want to say up until now, this point? And they're like, oh yeah, when you're talking about this, I wanted to say this. So you can always include them that way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think what I remember from my CELTA course here in the UK, I remember that the teacher told us, okay, so the two people are having a conversation, but then if you still have time, just separate them and tell someone else about the previous person, you know? So it's kind of, some people don't feel comfortable talking about themselves, but they are more comfortable talking about other people.
Yes, that's always a good way. Yes.
It's not only probably talking about themselves, but talking in general. So I think that promote,
It helps them to change the tenses too as well in the past, or talk about another person, use different pronouns as well. Yeah, no, it's a great way. That is a great way. Definitely. Well, I'm learning so much from you already. Yeah. This is great. Yeah, definitely. You'll be sick of my face.
Fantastic. Yeah. So if at any point you'd like to come back with a different topic, please do.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, no, I love talking about culture. I really do. As I always say, I feel like I'm in Ireland, but I feel like I'm traveling through my students because you can learn so much from them. Like I know we're the teacher, but you can just learn so much from your students as well. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. My worldview has changed so much since
the
teacher.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's mind blowing. Like every day there's something. I just I'd be shocked. Like it's great though. The countries you just never imagined you'd even go to. Now you're like, oh, I want to go to your country. Yeah. It's amazing. Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay.
It is.
If you ever left EFL, what would you do? Or what would you miss about it the most?
I don't think I could. That's a tricky one. That is a tricky one. I would miss that there's never a boring day. There's never a dull moment. Like you, as in if you went into some other sort of curriculum, you might have to do this. It's so flexible and you can really improvise in the different lessons as well and adapt it to what your students like to learn. And like I said, you learn from them. I would really 100% miss the students and just how creative you can be. You can really, as a teacher, get in touch with your creative side or your childlike side as well, because you can make it really fun. Like, or even come up to Christmas, you can do Christmas activities and dress up or whatever. So it's really enjoyable. So much. I go on and on. Yeah. What would you miss? I'm curious.
Probably the same, but also like human interactions and meeting all these people with so many. So sometimes I feel like I would like to try something different because 100%. It's quite an emotionally draining job, let's face it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But when I think about that, it's like, you know, meeting all these different people from other countries, those cultures.
Yeah. That's it.
It's just, you know, irreplaceable for me, I think.
That's it. Like there's days you're like, I can't switch off. I'm watching this TV show. That's great language for the students. Or look at that sign. Oh, I could teach them that. And you don't switch off. And you're like, what am I doing? I don't switch off. And then you go into the class the following day. Like, what am I doing? It's like, oh, wait, after the class, you're like, I know what I'm doing. I'm meant to be doing this. And it just repeats and repeats. It really does. But it is a great job. It really is.
And I like to say, once a teacher, always a teacher.
Yeah, I think so. I really agree. Definitely. It's hard to leave, but you can't. Yeah. It's brilliant. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Maria, for talking.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
People will find this talk really, really, you know, inspiring.
Yeah, definitely. And I can't wait to see a lot more teachers and hear their experiences too. Yeah, it's great.
Well. So, you know, your colleagues, your friends, whoever wants to, you know, come and talk.
Yeah, I see you all watching, so get on to the English staff room.
Exactly. Perfect. Thank you so much, Maria.
Thank you.
Please follow us on Instagram if you have any questions for Maria, for myself.
Yes, of course.
Send them our way. Okay, everybody, enjoy the weekend.
Thanks. Bye.